Good afternoon guys, it's Jenny here from Just Jenny Journaling. Welcome back to my channel. Today is a quick, a flip through share of these two journals, part of my unfinished projects, finally finished. So they're repurposed covers, they're from the same book series and they are covered in vintage fabric and they both measure 17 centimetres, well 17.5 centimetres I think, by 11. As I say, they both have this beautiful vintage fabric on it, and they both have like a jewelled dangle and a front book plate. So let me just dive in quickly and show you let's have a look through. So we first let's have a quick look at story for starters, and I've double tied it in this beautiful ribbon which I absolutely love. I've recently picked up in a sort of charity shop haul, you might have seen in my earlier video. Yes, but it's absolutely gorgeous and it really does pick up this kind of almost tanny olivey colour in the fabric. So two signatures. As I say, it's got the beautiful beaded charm on the back, and each one comes with its own little wooden bookmark, which you can, should you wish to, tuck in the front pocket. Because I've actually stuffed these to the girls, I'll probably send it stuck in the back. I don't want to strain it too much. Right, so has a little book plate and a little there are different elements, slightly different elements in each. The little pocket here, it's almost like a jewelled wallpaper type pocket. It's from Victoria Designs, this beautiful pocket, and there's one in each journal. And this here, I think is Old Design Shop. Just part of the stash that I had sort of lying around. So first and foremost, a little bit of beautiful vintage doily type thing, and the first page here is from Ephemera's Vintage Garden from Debbie Ann Parent, from her So Pretty digi. I think it's So Pretty 1, but it's absolutely beautiful. And so that front signature is that's what it's from, and I've laid it on like a beautiful paper, aged paper that I bought it like that, and some 1930s music page. So this one has, let me see, this one story has 44 pages all in all, 88 sides front and back. And I've stuffed it with bits and pieces, and that's why yeah, anyway, have a look. So tiny little stamp embellishment here. It's a book page from The Scented Garden. This little lovely is just a little card from my vintage ephemera box, as is this little tuck spot. I've raided that, things that I was hoarding, and I've tried to use them. A little bit of that William Morris calendar that I've had in my stash for a while. This is a book page from this book. This book was called, it's from the 1960s, it's called More Looking in Junk Shops. And the first one I had, the other one is Looking in Junk Shops, the first one, the first book. And I've added pages because I absolutely adore the illustrations in this. So I've added pages to the journal. The labels throughout, these beautiful labels are by Nikki. It's called Musings by Nikki, and these are her grungy labels. So it's a digital download, digital kit. This is just a piece of a notepad that I had from the works. This is working from that linen pad and linen and silks that I've got, upholstery ones, and I've basically just used them as tabs here. This gorgeous is a napkin that I have. It's a napkin that I have, and I think I've done and what I did with this is I obviously decoupaged it onto some paper, and then I went over it with an acrylic medium, and it gives it a lovely kind of almost leathery feel. Just popped a few extras in here, a few goodies. This little stamp, this is from this is from a frontispiece of a vintage book, and then I stamped this on it. These are both from my vintage ephemera packs that I've been hoarding. So I've popped those in there for you to use wherever you like. Okay, and then I've just popped in here some postcards I popped through that I've had in my stash for ages, and I've just used one of the labels at the top as a little tuck spot. This was just something I printed off. I stamped on for my magnolia, I think. This lovely map piece here, vintage map, is from the goodies I got from Shahib, I think, in Portugal. At Postal Love she is on Instagram. So this is a beautiful vintage piece of map paper, and I love it, so I've popped that in here. This is a piece of Graphic 45 that Communique collection that I've been using, and I didn't realise I still had. Tim Holtz, and that's, I don't know where that's from, to be honest, but I've popped that in there. This is, you can pop something in there if you like. It's a tuck spot, but I just liked it as it is, but you can, please feel free to. Bit of washi, bit of tracing paper. Again, another one of those lovely labels on the tea dyed paper. This here I absolutely love. This piece of fabric is a piece of Liberty. It's a Liberty print, and I've had a few, I've had it a couple of years, and I've used it in different things, but I found little pieces and I thought, let's pop them in. And this is just from this is from a paper pad from the Works that I picked up a few months ago, and like a little stamp, a postage stamp. This centerpiece, oh yes, so that's another one of these little postcards that I picked up recently. Well, no, I've had it in my stash for a while, to be fair. Popped it in here, just a little bit of a floral. And what I've done, is that centerpiece? Centerpiece? No, not yet. But that's another page from the So Pretty book, So Pretty Digital, from Debbie at Ephemera's Vintage Garden. So I've popped that on there, just to hold that. Piece of vintage, sort of, it's like a table, it's not doily, is it? Doily, do you call this? I don't know. Like a table mat. I liked it because I like the blue and white, because it reminds me of the blue and white Danish china to go with the beautiful image here from my art book. Tiny bit just popped in there as a little tuck. I've had this dyed from a botanical book for ages. This is from a vintage ephemera box. That's from a vintage ephemera box. That beautiful washi. A Tim Holtz sheet of bits and of sayings, sentiments that I found I haven't been using. Oh, this is from my upholstery stash of upholstery fabric, and I had that. I found that 1927. Anyway, I popped that in there because I just think it looks nice. Where's it supposed to be? No, the company's Reigate. Oh, Goring Church, Goring, Oxfordshire. That's only just down the way. Wow. Wow. Anyway, it's in there. It's tucked away, and that's the other side of that lovely paper. It's beautiful to the touch. It really is lovely. Oh. Other side, that's another one of those cards from paper pad that I have. Another grungy label. The other side of the napkin. A little bit of a rose book that I have in my stash. This is from the top of the ephemera box, and I just use it as a little tuck there to put this little bit of paper in. Italian tree pattern, very pretty. This is the other side of that. That's from So Pretty as well, beautiful. And this lovely page is from my scented garden book. Piece of silk, upholstery silk, that I have in my stash. and that's the other side of the back of the first signature, and I've just laid it with that beautiful piece of linen. And so here I've had this in my stash for a while. I thought it goes nicely there, and I've popped the napkin decoupage on there, and then I've popped a beautiful, that's halved, well that's, can you see it underneath? I've layered a piece of that sort of linen doily thing, and I've popped that, very elegant lady. I love this. It was a cheap and cheerful paper pad from B&M, I think, and I've saved this piece of this sheet for ages because I just love it. I was going to use it in one of my scripture journals, but decided to bite the bullet and use it in these. So that's a Tim Holtz Sentiment Create Art. That's from the Scented Garden. Just a piece of the upholstery linen I have in my stash. This was from my last ephemera box, I think, from our Atelier. And I just love the typewriter type thing, and so I popped it on. I did find another piece, this lovely lady of Graphic 45 communique. I think it was Prim and Proper. It was one of the covers that I used. Anyway, so that's that. I just love it there. And another piece of that lovely blue and white doily, not doily, centerpiece, whatever it is, on a stamp. And this I've just popped in, that's a little piece from the William Morris calendar, and I've backed some manuscript paper on the back. And this is from Shahib again, from Postal Love on Instagram. This is part of her vintage, she did a vintage pack of papers. I think I did a video share of it. So it's beautiful. It's such a lovely weight, and I've just popped that on there. Right. And that's got a little bit of a flip out with some bits and pieces on the back. Beautiful journal. Okay. So that's that one. I kind of, if I don't do this now, there you go. This was the other side of that card. I put a little sticky on the back here, and this is one of those money envelopes that you get for gifts, and I picked it up in a charity shop and loved it. I thought I'd use it here. I can't remember where that's from. That's from my art book. Another grungy label, other side of that vintage ledger I've popped in. Beautiful chairs from the book. Aren't they lovely? Aren't they lovely? And this was just, this is an image hanging around that I just loved. I've hanging around for ages, so I thought, let's use it. Pop it in here, and I've just done it's a beautiful silk, that upholstery silk. I just thought I'd do it as a little tab. Just done this little arrangement here. Tab there, that's upholstery. That's a swinging cot. This here was, I think if I remember rightly, a piece of Cavallini & Co. wrapping paper that I had, and I took it to bits and used it when I was first using the Graphic 45 communique pad about 2 years ago now, and it's one piece that I hadn't used, and I thought it sits really well in here. Tim Holtz washi, RHS diary page. This here is from my vintage art, my book on art, my art book. Look how lovely that is. Noteworthy. Popped on there, and I just pop these little bits. That was from the book. There's that one and that one. I think I might do these. I'll do these separately. I think I'll do them separately so that it doesn't take too long if you wanted to have a look at one and not the other. So there you go. That's beautiful, isn't it? That's the back. What should I do them? Bit of a dilemma. Right. Okay. Tell you what. Let's try and do moments as well. Let's try and do moments as well. Okay, so similar layout. So I'll probably go through this moments a little more quickly. Just on the back here, that's got the vintage little beads as well, little glass beads. I wanted to say that part of my stash busting is trying to just share. That's the bookmark. That one, share piece. Well, bits and pieces from my stash. So I do have. I've popped together 2 fabric packs. If you wanted to have some, or own yourself some fabrics like this, I've cut together, put 2 pieces in a pack. I put the square doily and a little round one on the back, just slightly different, and 2 meters of the 2 meters of the ribbon. I'll pop those in my shop, and I've also just popped a little 2-pack just of the fabric in my shop as well. So you might want to go and check those out, have a look and see if you'd like to just make something similar yourself. Okay, right, so same size. This one has, though, Moments has 40 pages plus tuck spots and bits and pieces. That's 80 sides altogether. So a different pocket, as you can see, but beautiful. And in the front here I have the book plate, a little advertisement type thing, that beautiful picture. So that's what I've popped there. Okay, same again. Let me just, beautiful. Right, greetings card, which I absolutely love, I adore. Had this just hanging around for ages, as this is 7 Gypsies paper that I've had hanging around for ages, and I just like to put them in. A little bit of that graphic 45 again. This does come out, a little writing spot if you wish to. Some more of the 7 Gypsies paper tucked in. That's a little tuck spot. That back, the piece of that vintage map is in here as well. And I think, oh, look at the colours on this, isn't it beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. This has just been hanging around in my stash for a while, to be fair, so I just thought that went nicely in there with that there. And then, so it's turned up as a pocket, and that beautiful old, if you can see that. How lovely that is. This is Artie May's, actually, this bit here. Oh, did I not have that? Did I show that there? Yeah, that's Artie May's. It's one of the collage sheets. Excuse my kids are home and they're playing on the Wii, so they've been instructed to be quiet, but it's not going to happen. Right, there you go, a bit of linen. This is the other side of that Artie May's collage page. Interesting. Well, I just love them. I've actually used a couple, and then I've just done a little tuck and popped a few bits inside. Just a few bits, little envelope, tuck spot. This is little ticket that came with from Postal Love. Have I glued you in? Little postcard. I thought that was pretty. And a little sentiment adventure awaits from my stash of Tim Holtz goodies. That's the other side of that. It's French, isn't it? Yeah, it is in French. So this this paper is I used it in my last 2 projects, in Sunflower, I think, and Sunflower and maybe Magnolia. But this is really quite a lovely weight, and it's from Amazon, kind of vintage age. It's not really mine. That's one of those grungy labels. 7 Gypsies paper. I've doubled it up and basically just popped it in at this angle. Looks a bit like an envelope. Distress spray here. The lovely little stamp there, and this is the piece of oh, what's the word? With the Liberty fabric in this one. Now I don't know. I'm probably This I kind of popped on. It was ever so thin, and then I realised it was October 1899. This is probably my millionaire moment. This time next year, Dell will be millionaires, but it's in this. It's in this now. So, this is from the top of the vintage ephemera. No, it wasn't. Was it from the top of the vintage ephemera box? No, this paper is, and I think I stamped on it, and that's from vintage Art Atelier. This stamp, it's beautiful. And I've layered it this time on that, and again on the napkin that's been decoupaged on there, and then gone over with the acrylic medium. Just bits and pieces that I've had. I think, oh, that's nice, I must save it. Now I've left this, yes, I've left this open at the bottom, just it's easy to slide things in and out. You can glue it should you wish, and I've done that for a lot of the bottom tuck spots as well, and top ones. I've just glued them on the bottom. That's again, that's from this stamp. That was from the back of an old book that I was looking at, and so I've taken apart and I just stamped that on there. Grundy label. There we go. Another one of those beautiful cards. So slightly different, but you know, slightly different but similar, if you see what I mean. I love this was from my art book, but look at the beautiful colours in this. Oh, I think that's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So yes, it's my pound art book that was falling to bits, and I'm going to just take little bits and use them. This is vintage lace that I've had in my stash for a while, and I decided I was going to use it. Just use it. I don't have a serious word of myself. That was from one of my ephemera boxes too. From my ephemera box, little sticker. I think it just makes such a difference to a page, doesn't it? 7 Gypsies paper. This is from a Graphic 45 stash. Look how pretty that is. And that was from the top of the ephemera box that had that lovely vintage ephemera stamping. I've used quite a lot, I think. I used it in my coffee journals. Do you remember in the retro section? Something like that. There you go. And then I remembered that I had a little wooden stamp. And so I layered it with some of that lace. Not lace, that's silk. That's it. This is a little something that I've had for a while. I made it for something else, can't remember what. Didn't use it. And so I just thought I'd pop that in there. But you can take it out, pop whatever else you like in there, should you wish to. And that's the back. So there you have it, guys. That's Moments. So you've got Moments and Story. And yes, should you wish to make something similar, these are 2 large pieces of this fabric, 2 meters of this ribbon, and a couple of pieces of little linens there that you might wish to purchase from my shop to make your own. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me. These are listed in my Etsy if you'd like to go and have a look. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye. Bye.